So the bottom line is people just don't want to. So consider this. You are a successful, bright, intelligent person. You've got it all: a thriving career, wonderful friends, a loving family, and a hot partner. The only thing missing? Children. A conscious decision not to have them, even though you're getting them calls from your parents going, when are my grandbabies coming? Where are they? In today's video, we are going to explore the reasons behind the shift towards a child-free lifestyle, and we are going to explore what happens when your culture doesn't always accept your choice to remain child-free. If you are new here, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so you won't miss our future videos. This is a space that I love to connect with you in, and I need you to hit that bell so the algorithm does its thing so you can come on back. Come on back. Throughout history, women have been just expected to bear children. It's a societal norm that is deeply ingrained in many cultures, but times are changing and more people are choosing not to have children. In a recent study done by the Pew Center, it's showing that more and more adults in the US and in North America in general actually are not having children, and they're just not planning to have any. So the bottom line is people just don't want to. Their reasons are varying from not wanting kids, period, for lifestyle reasons, or worries about the environment and climate change. This includes 85% of non-parents aged 40 to 49 compared to 37% of those under 40. Even if you've had a child, most people aren't even thinking about adding to their mix. 56% of non-parents under 50 who think that they won't have any children have said that they just simply don't want them. And the study found no difference in gender. Among childless adults, there's no single reason that's stood out. So about 19% said it was due to medical reasons, 17% say it's because of financial reasons, and 15% say it's because they haven't been able to find a good partner. Roughly 1 in 10 say that their age or their partner's age is a factor, and or the state of the world. I keep hearing this. Climate change and the way that the world is moving is having a huge effect, y'all. In my day, in the 90s, we still thought that having children was going to be a given. We didn't even think about not having children. At least most in my circle didn't. We believed that your life was over if you weren't engaged by the time you were 25, and you were like an old hag if you hadn't had your first child by the age of 27. Weird, right? In fact, I recognize I was raised in a time where we really believed that we could have it all. Like having the career and the 2.5 kids was just what we were going to do. At the time, we didn't realize how much that would grate on ourselves because nobody talked about what the cost to yourself is. And I'm not saying it's good or bad, but the reality was that the way society shaped us made us believe that it was just what we did. Men were considered weird if they didn't have kids either. For men, it was a mark of their manhood, of success. We, of course, were commodities for them. You had to have a wife on the arm and the 2.5 kids. Especially if you were wanting to make it in the business world, it was a sign of your success. And we are going to discuss how that impact is showing up today. The choice to remain childless, at least in Western cultures, is becoming more and more accepted. However, that's not the case all over the world. The decision can still be met with some resistance or even stigma. For example, in China, the United Nations predicts that China's population will start to shrink in 2023. Many provinces are already experiencing this negative population growth. UN experts now see China's population shrinking by 109 million by 2050. Heightens the risk that China's population will be unsustainable. It's one of the most pressing long-term challenges that the Chinese government faces in the moment. Aside from the long-term consequences of the one-child policy, the looming demographic collapse is largely driven by an increasing unwillingness for young Chinese to have children. Birth rates are falling across China as young people are marrying later and struggle to balance their intense careers with creating a family. Many are simply opting out and not becoming parents. This feeling of hopelessness may be contributing to the decrease in the number of people in China choosing to have children. Their birth rate is dropping rapidly and has been dropping rapidly in recent years. In 2021, the population in 11 provinces actually started to shrink. It's hard to know exactly because China likes to keep its numbers to themselves. Don't come for me, China. Don't come for me. Please don't. Please don't. Many young people feel they are the last in their family line, a trend that is causing significant concern for the Chinese government. Let's take a walk on my part of the world. Caribbean and Latin American societies are witnessing shifts in their population dynamics. In my own experience as a West Indian woman, large families with more than 5 children were the norm. Like when my parents were growing up, my dad and mom both have over 5 siblings. My dad has 7 and my mom has, I don't know, I think it's somewhere between 12 and some more, but definitely 11 siblings that we know of. Yeah, that's another story. We had a strong sense of community with aunts, uncles, and family ties forming the fabric of our lives. Like family meant everything. We ran with our cousins and everybody connected. But however, in recent times, there's been a change in this trend. And it's not only in the Caribbean, but wherever Caribbean communities have settled. In the UK, the Caribbean community has seen a significant decrease in their population. And some people worry that the Caribbean community might eventually disappear in the UK. According to the latest census, the Caribbean community was the only ethnic group showing decline. Experts believe that this could be due to lower birth rates, more mixed-race relationships, and the older generation that's returning home to their home islands. Yeah, we could also talk about there's been a rash of deportations happening all over England where they're just shipping back residents and people who were citizens and then all of a sudden weren't citizens. But again, that's for another video. On top of birth rates dropping, elders passing away, and Blaxit relocations, we can see how quickly this transformation can take place. In 2011, the census figures show that mixed heritage population skyrocketed, and the most likely group to be in an inter-ethnic relationship overall were white and Black Caribbean people by 88%. And so again, I think it's important to note that the demographics and the way that we are seeing and being in relationships has drastically switching. And there's this real global village and global love that is starting to take effect. Dr. Christopher Tufton is worried about the decreasing birth rate as well in Jamaica. He believes that this will negatively affect the country's growth, including its workforce and its overall competitiveness on a world stage. He shared these concerns during a ceremony at the Mandeville Hospital in Manchester. According to Dr. Tufton, Jamaican mothers are having less than 2 children on average, which he thinks is too low. He said the ideal number of children per mother should be about 2 or a little more than 2. He explained that with the current birth rate and net migration, Jamaica's population of about 3 million could start to decrease over time. Last year, the country just had over 30,000 births. Dr. Tifton warned that low birth rate and high neonatal mortality could have serious social and economic implications. He said that this could affect our workforce and competitiveness and could prevent us from reaching our full potential as a society. He has also talked about strategies to increase the birth rate in Jamaica. He mentioned community outreach programs and the possibility of a policy to treat sexual and reproductive health to encourage more births. He added, "We're not telling anyone to go out and get pregnant, but we need to bring our birth rates back up. We need to make sure that we can choose to have children and do so safely. And those who don't want to have children might reconsider if they understood the benefits and they could get benefits for raising children." At the end of the day, it is important to remember that every woman has a right to choose her own path. Whether she decides to have children or not, her decision should be respected. Education and opportunity is a definite push to autonomy and freedom of our bodies. Fertility is a weapon. It is a powerful tool that brings down the economics of countries. It leads me to question why we are suddenly seeing pushback on abortion rights, on fertility rights, and rights for women to control our bodies overall. This is a sweeping thing that we're seeing all through North America. When we see GDPs drop, is that why this is happening? Things to make you go, As we continue to evolve as a society, any society around the world, it is crucial that we continue to have these conversations and challenge perceived notions, especially as the world changes and we are going to have to adjust to a closer economic and global situation. We're loving worldwide, y'all. We are having to face the switching demographics as we are becoming an older population. We are also going to have to deal with the looming effects of climate change and mass migration all over the world. Do we have enough people? I don't know, but I definitely understand that there are going to be some shifts towards what our cultural norms and adjustments that we're going to have to make probably on the fly in the next few years to come. What do you think about this topic? Are there any shifts in your community that you're noticing around having kids and not having kids? What are your grandparents saying? What is your parents saying? What are your friends saying? Put it in the chat. I am curious to know what people are thinking about this. Let's start a conversation. And remember, I gotta remind you, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And check out my other videos that I have on this topic. And in the intern, stay safe and come on back until the next time. Bye.